recall that we had received hacked documents, text messages, tweets, direct messages, and emails from one of the founders of Black Lives Matter, and that there was going to be a Dallas-style attack on cops in Baton Rouge. And I was going to play this clip to accentuate that had been mentioned and that the police force knew about it.
I'm Aaron Burnett. Out front tonight, the breaking news: an alleged plot to murder police. A manhunt on tonight for a suspect who officials say may be conspiring to kill police. Authorities in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, already arrested 3 people in connection to a possible plot. Police say at least 8 guns were stolen from a pawn shop over the weekend. One of the suspects, at least one of them, telling police they were going to use them to kill law enforcement officers. The Baton Rouge Police Department is on high alert tonight.
We took this as a very viable threat. We have been questioned repeatedly over the last several days about our show of force and why we have the tactics that we have. And this is the reason. Because we have credible threats against the lives of law enforcement in this city. And as law enforcement officers that are charged with the protection of this community, and in that community is our law enforcement officers.
Yeah, there you go. That was yesterday.
Yeah, well, there you have it.
This happens today. So this is very disturbing.
And the Black Lives Matter guy's got a book deal in the way. I can just see it in it.
DeRay magazine.
Yeah, they arrest him.
And just as a big scene, just as a little extra bit of information that came out a couple of days ago, this DeRay McKesson lives in a house which is owned by James and Robin Wood in Baltimore, Maryland. But the same address is used for the Baltimore chapter of the Open Society Institute. Just wanted to point that out.
Which, of course, the Open Society Institute.
That's George Soros' deal.
Oh,
He's living in a house paid for by Soros, just to put a little perspective into it.
Somebody's got to pick up the Soros thread since Glenn Beck stopped doing it.
And I didn't get a lot of sleep. I gotta tell you, these 2 things, well, actually 3 things happened in succession. We had 28 pages come out right around, was this?
You have to play the Nothing to See Here then.
So look over here.
Nothing to see here.
Oh, look at that.
Came out, right after all this mayhem took place in Nice. So there's almost no mention of that. Of course, we'll discuss.
Well, actually, there was a couple of mentions, more than a few.
Oh, really?
Yes, and I want to play these, and I think we should go right into that.
Let's do it.
You read the document.
I did.
I read the document.
I'm sure you did.
Well, because it was short.
Yeah. And were you surprised at anything in said document?
Yeah, a couple of things. I didn't think, because they named names.
Yeah.
Banda Harwood, that guy is who used to be on TV all the time, who seems to be a bad actor. And it seemed to me, when I read it, I came away with the
Do we need to just set up what this is for people who
Oh,
don't?
yes, please set it up.
Okay.
Yeah, people, maybe someone doesn't know, because they sure wouldn't find out listening to the news.
The 9/11 Commission report, which was kind of destined to fail with underfunding and delays, and finally in 2003, this thing came out, and we all know pretty much what it said. But there were pages omitted, the legendary 28 pages. And these pages, as we learned about them, and now we're now 15 years later, we figured out pretty much what was in there was implication that a lot of the hijackers, I'm doing air quotes, had close ties to Saudi Arabia, the consulate, and that this was omitted and had been shoveled away and classified.
Classified as top secret.
Yes, top secret. So that we would not mess, and that's what the document actually states, because of the relationship with the United States and Saudi Arabia, there was not prudence to let the public see that.
And as the tale continued, a number of congressmen saw it. They said it should be released, and they were shaking their fists at Saudi Arabia. And Saudi Arabia obviously had somebody see it, and they said if we reveal it, it will be
they're going to sell
the end of our relationship. They're going to pull their bonds out, and they're going to do all this and that and the other. They're going to do all these things, and then the next thing you know, there's enough pressure to get the document released. And so, so you and I both read it. I look at it, I think it was an incredible indictment of Saudi Arabia.
I completely agree.
If you read the document, and it's linked in the last newsletter, an actual PDF of the full document.
And that is in the show notes.
Redacted stuff
It's in the show notes today as well. There's not that much redacted, you know. So
It's enough that it's annoying. But,
true.
but with or without the redactions, which took some people's names out, they left other names in. I don't know who did this, but it was poorly done. It sounds to me as though Saudi Arabia financed the whole damn thing.
And I also read the way I perceived it. CIA was holding back a lot of information from FBI. They were not, they were not transparent, or they were not open with information they had. In fact, I think CIA lied to FBI, just from the way I read some of these documents.
I think you could easily say that.
Yeah.
Now, with that in mind, what you just heard from us, I want you to play the clips, the way the media handled this. So let's start. Now, what you just heard from us, now play. Here's how CBS handled it. This is the 28 pages on CBS.
Today, Congress made public 28 formerly top-secret pages from its investigation into 9/11. The pages detail suspicions at the time of links between the hijackers and the Saudi government. Though 15 hijackers were Saudis, 2 investigations have found no evidence that the Saudi government supported them.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
So don't look at all the other ones that were completely tied into Saudi Arabia. Just mention the 2 that weren't.
28 pages. They say that 28 pages were released, and a bunch of people were hot Saudis, but 2 other investigations said there was nothing to it, so don't look over here. That was the entire nothing to see here.
Oh, look at that.
Entire Central Intelligence Agency broadcasting system, CBS. That was their fantastic report.
Good work, boys.
Now I figure, maybe there's a shot. Because believe me, Democracy Now! Didn't do much better, but they'll bring somebody who's an expert on eventually that'll be meaningless.
Right.
So PBS, I figure, they're going to do a little.
They'll do better. You had hope.
This
You had hope. You had hope from PBS, yes.
Yeah,